at the altar. My sister said he could have done better. She didn't whisper it. She didn't lean over quietly. She didn't even pretend. It was a joke. She said it just loud enough for the front rows to hear, and in a wedding, that's loud enough for everyone. I remember the exact way the air changed, not dramatically, not loudly, but subtly, like a glass cracking under pressure. A few heads turned. Someone shifted in their seat. A soft, uncomfortable laugh escaped from somewhere near the aisle. And there I was, standing in white, holding his hands, about to promise my life to him. And my sister had just implied I wasn't good enough. If you've ever grown up in the shadow of someone who constantly competes with you, you understand that feeling. She was always the impressive one. Top grades. Top university. Corporate. Job by 20-3. Promotions by 20-6. At least. That's how she told the story. Family gatherings always revolved around her updates, her achievements, her milestones. I was the quieter one, the one who took a little longer, the one who changed majors, the one who started over, and she never let me forget it. You're brave, she'd say, which really meant reckless. You're different, she'd say, which really meant not enough. And every compliment came wrapped in comparison. When I got engaged, she smiled too brightly. "Oh, wow," she said. "I didn't see that coming." Not congratulations, not happiness, surprise, as. If love finding me was statistically MLY, I ignored it because I had learned something over the years. Reacting only fed. Her silence starved her. But this wasn't a dinner table comment. This wasn't a private jab. This was my wedding. The church was warm with candlelight. White roses lined the aisle. Our families sat on opposite sides, pretending history didn't exist. Music still lingered softly in the background when the priest asked, "Would anyone like to share a few words before we continue?" She stepped forward immediately, too quickly, like she had rehearsed it, champagne glass in hand, posture, perfect smile. Controlled. "I just want to say how surprising this is," she began. Polite laughter. Nods. People expecting something sentimental. She looked at him, not at me, at him. "I always imagined you with someone more aligned with your ambition." Pause. Calculated. Then she tilted her head. "Slightly. You could have done better." It's strange how humiliation doesn't feel explosive. It feels slow, like you're hearing dulls, like your heartbeat becomes louder than the room. I felt the heat rise up my neck, but I refused to cry. Not here. Not today. Not in front of her. I kept holding his hands, waiting, terrified of what his reaction might be. Would he laugh it off? Would he stay silent? Because silence sometimes says more than words. But he didn't laugh. He didn't look embarrassed. He didn't look confused. He looked calm. Then he looked at me and smiled, not a defensive smile, not an awkward one, a steady one, like he had been expecting this moment. He gently let go of one of my hands and stepped forward. "May I say something?" he asked softly. The priest nodded. That the room fell into complete silence. He turned toward my sister. "First, you're right," he said. A ripple of confusion spread through the guests. My stomach dropped. "You're right," he repeated. "I could have done better." For one fragile second, I felt everything collapse. Then he continued, "I could have chosen someone easier." Silence. Someone who never had to fight to rebuild her life. Someone who never took risks. Someone who never failed publicly and stood back up anyway. His voice wasn't loud, but it carried. I could have chosen someone who fits perfectly into every room without effort. He looked around the church. Then back at me. But I didn't want easy. His voice softened. I wanted real. The silence shifted. I One of the women who stayed beside me when my father was sick. The one who worked 2 jobs while starting over. The one who believes in people before they believe in themselves. He took a breath, and the one who never once needed to put someone else down to feel superior. That line landed hard. My sister's smile faded completely. He stepped closer to me again. She is not lucky to be standing here with me, he said. I am lucky, she said. Yes, a quiet gasp somewhere behind us. If you think I could have done better, he added, looking directly at my sister, then you don't understand what better actually means. Silence wasn't awkward anymore. It was decisive then. One clap echoed from the side. His best man. Then another, then more, and suddenly the room filled with applause, not chaotic, not exaggerated, just steady, supportive, final. My sister lowered her glass, and for the first time in her life, she didn't have a clever response. The priest cleared his throat gently. Shall we continue? This time the atmosphere felt lighter when we said our vows. I wasn't distracted. I wasn't doubting myself. I wasn't shrinking. For the first time in my life, I wasn't competing. I was simply present, and that felt different, stronger. At the reception, people didn't approach me with sympathy. They approached me with admiration. I never seen someone handled like that so gracefully. An aunt whispered, another guest said, he sees you. And that meant more than anything. Across the room, my sister stood alone, not isolated, but unnoticed. The spotlight had shifted, not because she lost it, but because she never truly owned it. Later that evening, she approached me quietly. I didn't mean it like that, she said, but we both knew she did, and something surprising happened inside me. I didn't feel anger. I didn't feel the need to argue. I didn't feel the urge to defend myself, because I didn't need her approval anymore. I had something stronger, certainty. Growing up, I thought I needed to prove myself to her, to my family, to anyone who compared us. But standing at that altar, hearing him choose me without hesitation, changed something permanent. Some people try to humiliate you publicly because they've only ever felt powerful when you felt small. But when someone stands beside you, not in front of you, not above you, beside you, the balance changes. Forever. He didn't just marry me that day, he defended me. And in doing that, he made something clear. I wasn't the one he could have done better than he already had, and he chose me anyway. Say quizzer. Poso agora, ajustar ritmo, para bater exatamente, 12 minuto sensor, micro cliffhangers. Extrazo planear o tercero video, para criar crescimento em sequência.